Now, in a recent discussion at Georgetown University on the subject of poverty, President Obama came out and trashed the media on some of their discussions about poverty. Well, let's take a look.
I mean, I have to say that, if you watch Fox News on a regular basis, it is a constant menu. They will find, like, folks who make me mad. I don't know where they find them, right? They're all like, I don't want to work. I just want a free Obama phone or whatever. And that becomes an entire narrative, right? That gets worked up. And you, very rarely do you hear an interview of a waitress, which is much more typical, who's raising a couple of kids and is doing everything right, but still can't pay the bills. And so if we're going to change how John Boehner and Mitch McConnell think, we're going to have to change how our body politic thinks, which means we're going to have to change how the media reports on these issues.
Yeah, good luck on that. See, making fun of the poor and demonizing them, it's kind of that's Fox News' bread and butter. They love doing it. They have an that is a Freudian slip there. They have an entire segment called Entitlement Nation, where literally a hand busts out of the middle of America going like this. Gimme handouts, essentially. Now, a lot of the media is going to take offense to this. It's not just Fox News. Fox News is, of course, livid, but it's also on supposed liberal MSNBC. And for that, we go over to Joe Scarborough of the show Morning Joe, and he's going to talk about how outraged he is. Take a look.
I mean, I don't know where to start. At a bipartisan summit, you decide to attack a cable news channel as the problem, and saying that Roger Ailes calls people leeches, and Roger Ailes' network calls people leeches, sponges, and lazy. That, first of all, at a summit that's supposed to bring both sides together on poverty, is stunning to me. What about this specific clip about Fox News calling poor people leeches, sponges, and lazy? Have you ever heard that on Fox News?
No, I have not.
Has anybody ever heard that on Fox News?
But I think he was talking...
Has anybody? No, this is important.
I don't really watch.
Has anybody ever watched anybody call the poor lazy, sponges, and leeches?
You hear that? Turn on the radio. Turn on talk radio.
Right-wing radio.
Turn on talk radio.
I was talking about Fox News.
I have not heard that on Fox News.
You might not have heard that on Fox News, but I'm going to give this gentleman a little bit of a helping hand.
A new report showing poor families in the United States are not what they used to be. Now, many poor families have homes with cable TVs, cell phones, computers, you name it, much, much more. 99% of them have a refrigerator. 81% have a microwave. 78% have air conditioning, 63% have cable TV, 54% have cell phones, 48% have a coffee maker. I'm not surprised, they're only about $10. 38% have a computer, 32% have more than 2 TVs, 25% have a dishwasher.
The number of Americans on food stamps, Newt Gingrich has talked about this, and in some circles been heavily criticized to bring out the real number, which is 46.2 million, the highest number ever on food stamps.
This is one of those tipping points where more and more Americans are looking to other people's money to buy them stuff.
The mistake the governor is making is not dealing with the true causes of poverty, thereby showing real concern for the impoverished. That's what all politicians should do. And the causes are these: poor education, addiction, irresponsible behavior, and laziness. That's right, far-left people. Some folks are lazy.
People who are the makers in society, makers versus the takers, when the makers of society look around and go, okay, I'm paying all of this money, and yet we're getting close to half of the country not paying anything at all, am I being a sucker?
Well, you are a sucker, but that's beside the point. Those are just a couple of examples that I could find and put together about Fox News, about how they imply, and sometimes straight off the bat, with their chyrons and everything, that say that America, full of moochers, entitlement society, lazy workers, lazy people not going to work, sucking off the government, not paying taxes. But 99.6% of people, poor people in quotes, have a refrigerator. I forget, 80-something% have a microwave, an air conditioner. God forbid someone has an air conditioner or a computer or even a cell phone. Cause landlines have kind of gone away over in the last, 10 years. A lot of people don't even have landlines anymore. They have a cell phone instead. So, these stats like this, and let me address this, some of those, right? Well, a lot of poor people live in apartment buildings. It makes sense that a large majority of those apartments do come furnished to some extent with a refrigerator, a microwave, and yes, sometimes even air conditioning. And even though you may have air conditioning, that doesn't mean you can afford to actually turn it on. I don't know if they got quite into those numbers, but that's what they do on Fox News, is that they simplify poverty into a soundbite. And just what President Obama said, they will sit there and they will run with this narrative that people are poor moochers, they're sponges, and they're lazy. And they just continue to run with it, and they simplify this narrative in order to do for a point. There's a reason that they do this, is so that they can cut money and in poverty programs. No, the war on poverty doesn't work. So let's just get rid of it, cut taxes for the rich. That's their entire plan. And so here's Joe Scarborough being a complete idiot and saying, I've never heard Fox News ever call a poor person lazy. Well, there's just a few examples of the many times that Fox News does just that.